The Third Testament, Section 14, The Mission Statement. Chapter 59, Mission to Spread the New Word of God. Instructions for the production of book volumes, excerpt editions and translations. 1. This is the announced time in which I had to speak to mankind, and I want you, in fulfillment of my predictions, to compile book volumes with this word I have given you, later to make extracts and analyses of them and to bring them to the attention of your fellow men. 6. 52. 2. Put together a book from my words, take the meaning out of it, so that you may have a true understanding of the purity of my teaching. You may discover errors in the word transmitted by the voice bearer, but not in the meaning. 3. My transmitters have not always been prepared. That is why I have told you that you should not just read it superficially, but penetrate into its meaning so that you may discover its perfection. Pray and meditate so that you can understand it. 174:30. For I brought you this word and made it heard in your own language, but I give you the commission to translate it later into other languages so that it may be known to all. 5. In this way you will begin to build the true Tower of Israel, that which unites all peoples spiritually into one, that unites all men in that divine, unchanging and eternal law which you have experienced in the world from the mouth of Jesus when he told you, love one another. 34, 59-60. 6. I want that my word, when books are formed out of it, which must be spread over the earth, be printed without error, as pure as it came out of me. 7. If you let it thus enter into your books, a light will stream out of it, which will enlighten mankind, and its spiritual meaning will be felt and understood by all men. 19, 47-48. 8. I command you my teaching so that you may pass it on to your fellow men in the same form in which I give it to you. But never discuss in a violent way when you teach them. Beware of judging what you do not know, but understand that a louder example will suffice to convert men to spiritualization. 174:66. 9. Prepare yourselves to give the good news, which will be received with joy by many. 10. I say to you of many and not of all, for some may tell you that what was revealed to them by God in the first days, and what Christ brought to men, is enough. 11. Just then, let your lips, moved and inspired by me, tell the unbelieving people that it is necessary to know the new revelation in order to know all the truth granted to men by God in the past times. 292:67. The right to know the new Word of God. 12. It is necessary that you go out into the different ways of the earth, O beloved people. For see, even in the Mexican nation many have not yet recognized my work. 13. See how those who claim to work in my name are already rising in the world, even though they are spiritually needy. 14. But you, who have been abundantly blessed by my divinity, what is your task? To make my teaching known. You must not hide yourselves from the world, nor deny it the help it needs. 341:16. 15. Here I am preparing you in silence, after that the day will come when you must set out to prepare the ways so that my word may reach all hearts. 16. In that day the world will be purified by suffering, and my word will no longer appear to her as a foreign language, but as something which the heart and spirit can easily understand and feel. 17. I give you the book that speaks of truth and love, that you may bring it to all mankind. 18 There is no people on earth of whom I could tell you that you do not need to go there because there is no need for this revelation. What nation can claim to be truly Christian not only in name, but because of its love, mercy and forgiveness? What nation can prove its spirituality? In what part of the world do they love one another? Where do people actually follow the teachings of Christ? 124, 15-16. 19 When this message is completed, I will no longer speak through these transmitters, but will thereafter manifest myself in subtle ways in the spirit beings. 20 But my word, imprinted in the hearts of those who heard it, and written down in a new book, shall be brought to the peoples and nations of the world as a seed of peace, as a light of true knowledge, as a remedy for every evil that tortures the body and spirit of men. 21 My word will not reach the hearts when my messengers desire it, but when it is my will. For it will be I who will watch over my seed, who will prepare the earth for it and pave the way. It will be I who will let it reach the peoples, nations and families wisely, at the right time. 22 It will come when it is already expected, when hearts are in expectation, because they remember my promises when they have awakened from their deep dream of self-importance, pride, materialism, and vanity. 315, 28-29. 23 I will give my people the means to bring my message to all nations. I will see to it that they find people of goodwill in their way who will help them to carry my rallies to the ends of the earth. 323, 75. 24 Through you the law is to be made known anew to the new generations. This is why I have told you that you must be prepared. For you have come to prepare the way for the future, so that the new generations will no longer be idolaters in the future, nor false prophets arise among them who deceive mankind. 25 All these things you must reveal to the world, Israel. In this time, in which different world views have come into being, sect against sect will rise, the denominations will fight among themselves and will also reject you. 26 But since you are children of light and peace, you are to tell them, the truth is contained in the meaning of the Third Testament, there is the testimony of the presence and coming of the Lord in this time. 27 You shall point out this book to mankind and bear witness to its truth by your fulfillment of my law. 348, 42-43. Instructions for the dissemination of the spiritual teachings. 28 Understand, people, in this third age you, as witnesses who have witnessed this divine rallies, have the task of spreading this message faithfully and truthfully. You have been called and chosen to bring the good news to humanity, to teach your fellow men the spiritual way, the only one that leads you to peace, to true light, and to all-embracing brotherhood. 270, 10. 29 Have patience and understanding, for it is not you that mankind shall acknowledge, but my work, my teaching, and it is eternal. Your task is to bring, with your words and deeds, the message that reveals to men the way in which they can take a step towards perfection. 84, 11. 30 Built on firm ground, so that what I have built in you in spirituality and renewal may not be destroyed by the unbelievers. 31 But you must not hide this truth for fear of the world, you must show it to the world in broad daylight. In this time you are not to go to catacombs to pray and love me. 32 Do not be shy when you speak of me or bear witness in any way, because then men will not acknowledge that I made myself known to you. They will doubt that the multitudes of the sick and needy got well and found relief from their sufferings. They will deny the miracles I performed to ignite your faith. 33 I will leave you the book of my teachings to tell the world. Behold, here is what the Master left as an inheritance. And truly, how many will believe when they hear the reading of my word, and how many sinners will be renewed? 34 Take heed to all these teachings, that the trials in your lives may not catch you unprepared. 246, 69-70. 35 How many teachings, how many forms of worship for God, and how many new ideas about the spiritual and about human life will you find? If you can penetrate into them and judge them, each will show you a good and right part, and another, erroneous part, far from the truth, which is justice, love, and perfection. 36 Wherever you discover errors, ignorance, or evil, spread the essence of my teaching, which, because it is mine, must not be mixed with unclean things or errors. 37 My teaching is absolute, comprehensive and perfect. 268, 60. 38 I tell you already now that those who really sow this seed with the cordiality with which I have entrusted it to you will go their way in peace. The doors will be opened to them who had been deaf to their knocking, and although they may be fought, they will never succumb in battle, because their virtue will make them survive all trials. 39 On the other hand, those who ignore the voice of their conscience, who do not obey my words and betray me, will always be abandoned to their enemies, will live without peace and feel fear of death. 252, 24-25. 40 People, before the wars in the world still have an end, my law of love is to touch all spirit beings, although you cannot yet know today in what way. 41 This message of spiritual light will likewise reach men, but this will only happen when you are strong. 42 No one dares to say that this work is the truth unless he is convinced of it, for then no one will believe you. But if your faith is absolute and your conviction true, no one will be able to prevent you from bringing the good news to all hearts. 287, 52-53.